Hello, hello.
Hello.
Hello, everybody who's here.
How's
It's been
it
a while
going?
since I've been on screen like this. So,
Oh,
how are you all doing?
Yeah, same. I'm all right. I'm a bit shattered. Amy, you're feeding.
Yes, all of these. All
That's
of
awesome.
these.
What, have you just started, or is that ones you've done?
Yeah, I've done 4.
I'm just going to
half
pull.
an hour.
Hold
Takes
on, I've got
forever.
someone else waiting to come in. Hello, Jerry.
Hey,
How's it
dude,
going?
how you doing? I'm good, thank
knackered,
you.
but I'm doing all right.
Just so you know, I was
Join
literally having a
Jazz
nap.
Club then.
Yeah.
I wish I could have a nap. I've been spending the past few days packing for the Brighton show.
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
All my bits and bobs, yeah.
I'm
Like
not going to a
80% done.
Brighton show.
You're not going?
No, it's our
Oh.
wedding anniversary on Sunday.
Oh,
No.
you're
Oh,
excused.
okay.
On Saturday,
Yeah, that's
sorry. The
fine.
show's on the Sunday, so yeah, we're it's 10 years. We've got to celebrate. So
Yeah. Weekend
I
bender,
think
why
we
not?
both get a wee bit drunk. Mind you, if you rock up at a show like with a hangover, that's normal, isn't it? Really?
I mean,
That's me,
did
that
you
is,
see
yeah.
Sam at the BTS? Like, oh my
I sure
god,
did.
that's
I saw-
hilarious.
I slept for 4 hours during the BTS. I went to the car and just like lay down in the car, and then 4
I
hours
just had a
later,
nap.
I
In the
emerged.
car.
Yeah.
You just
was-
slept in the car. I couldn't do that.
I
Yeah,
sleep in
I
the
was
car for
so
exercise.
hungover.
Come on.
That's why I don't drink before the shows. I just can't. Especially now that I'm vending. Oh my god, I couldn't imagine it.
I couldn't do it either. I
mad,
I
like-
would be so lost the next day. Like, just want my
I'd just be there
bed.
like, where am I? Why am I in a hotel? Oh god, I've got a show to do.
What are you jumping about for?
Oh, he's so fluffy.
Yeah, he's so
So-
crazy.
Like, I'm having.
Get off that pot, please.
What is he doing?
You know what they're like.
It's so cute though.
Get on my
It's
hands,
so
bro.
fluffy looking.
You're feeding the versicolor slings, right,
You know what
Amy?
you could call this?
Yeah, when I've got one trying to run
You know what
away.
Oh, typical
You know what's funny
versicolors.
thing, right?
He's-
You know
I've got a
Jumping.
mail I'm giving to someone this week on Sunday.
what-
Got mature mail,
Ooh, yeah.
fresh mail. And if anyone in the chat is looking for mature male Balfouri
Little
and a
mate.
mature male Harpoctera polcapes, I've got 2 of those are fresh as well. So if they don't sell at the show, message me on Monday and I'll sell
Yeah,
them on
man.
for dirt cheap.
Pimp those
If
males
anyone's
out.
looking. Yeah, I mean, as much as I love them,
In.
I mean, I paired my female Balf already, so
Yeah.
I don't need the male anymore for that.
Why
And
do they always decide to come
I don't
in
want
now?
to. I was thinking when I saw him mature out the Harpoctera, I was like, do I really want to spend 90 quid on a female?
Hey, up.
What's
Hey,
up, man?
Gav.
How you
Gav.
keeping?
You all right?
Yes. Are you doing the show
Yeah,
as
good.
well?
Yeah, I'm going to the show.
I'm buying a stag beetle statue from you.
Yeah.
Save that for me.
Let's have a
Let
look,
me
man.
see.
Oh, that's awesome.
They're so good.
It's
They're
so
so
good.
good.
You're so talented.
Yeah, man.
Like Gav, you wouldn't believe when I was sitting there on the stream. Is it yesterday? No, Tuesday. I was just there,
Tuesday.
like when you're showing off the Raptorial. I was like, oh my god! I was literally like, audibly excited. I was like, it looks so good.
Yeah, it was quite fun to build that.
Oh, it looks amazing.
But it's going to be a really cool like visual aid for the kids as well.
I think I-
Yeah,
100%.
that's so cool. Stag beetles are just like little rhinos, though, aren't they? They're awesome.
Oh, they're great.
Little tanks. Yeah.
Worked with a few species of stags now, and
Oh, what? Look at that.
yeah, they're great. Yeah, this is exactly like see, that's my exact reaction. I was like, whoa.
That
That's
is nuts.
amazing.
What's
That
it
is
made out of,
nuts.
Gav?
Wood?
What's it made out of?
Wood?
Oh, wood. Son, doesn't look like it.
It literally doesn't though. It
That's
literally looks like a
incredible.
3D printed
Yeah.
like
Oh,
statue.
It really
got-
does.
We've got another person entering.
Oh, another guest.
Hey,
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
how's it going?
I was too busy
Hello.
enjoying. I was just too busy enjoying some wood. Everybody loves Gav's wood.
Aye.
He's funny, man.
The hell? Yeah,
How are we all?
Yeah, doing
Aye.
good.
Good.
we're all
Tired,
good.
but good.
Yeah, Jeremy and me need a nap. Well, I was
Yeah.
actually sleeping. Like my alarm just went off to tell me to come up and do the stream.
Well, you look refreshed. That's the thing.
Slap some
spent
water on my
what?
face.
Just
You could have been
tie
late.
the hair back.
No.
I'm always
Fashionably
late for
late.
these things, man.
Now,
Hey, wee
Here we go, wee
man.
man.
Hey, wee man.
How's it
How
going?
are
hiding his boobies.
you?
Right, go through. Everybody's seen it. Squirrel.
We go-
Go back
Oh, hey,
here.
Chaz. How's it going? Hey, Greg.
Oh, hey, Chaz. Hey, Greg. I didn't even look at the chat. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I forgot about the chat.
Oh, yeah. Let me have a little look-see.
No, we don't forget about the
Chris.
chat, but I did.
Hey, Chris. How's it going? Shady Things. How's it going?
Hello,
I
hello,
just-
everybody.
I decided not to go for the wine coffee too early. Maybe soon we shall go wine coffee.
What's wine coffee?
It's how do I close this bloody thing? There we go. It's a risk, is what it is that we were contemplating.
That doesn't. Oh God, wine and coffee. Ooh.
I think it would be repulsive, but I'm never one to usually challenge.
Hey, you can't go wrong with trying it once at least.
Oh, that's it. You've got to try it. I've just finished my homemade beer, so I'm going to start brewing another batch now.
Well, you better not have finished it all because you said you were dropping some off to me.
Yeah. It'll
That
have
will
to
be
be the
happening then.
See,
next
that's why
batch,
he was
mate.
tired and he needed a nap because he drank all the beer before he could give it to you, Adam.
Yeah,
It was.
I'm pretty sure
it was
if I
a-
scroll back through the messages, there was I've got some homebrew I'm going to drop off to you.
Yeah, no, there was that message that did go out, and then I think I finished them like 2 days later. It's only 40 pints though, so.
Only.
Only.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
Well,
my
didn't drink them in a day. Don't know what I mean. I drank them in about a month. So.
about to say,
I was a bit
Jesus
worried then, Gar, I must admit.
Yeah, I've taken my drinking to another level if I'm doing 40 pints a day.
He's a Welshman in Scotland. Of course, he could manage that.
Oh god, I can't manage a few like, and then the next day I'm dying. So I'm just getting too old.
Join the club.
What have you got, yeah.
I can't do
So-
hangovers these days.
Well, are you gonna have a massive one
Yeah,
on the
massive.
10th
Yeah.
next week?
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, but I've got a good enough excuse for it, you know.
Yeah, sure you.
What's happening next week? What have I missed?
My 10-year wedding anniversary.
Hey!
Thank you, man. Yeah, so I said I wouldn't be going to the Brighton show because, yeah.
The what?
I won't be going to the Brighton show on the
The
Sunday.
Brighton.
Brighton, yeah.
Brighton.
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 Waiting.
Everybody
Oh.
says that like I speak funny, but it's just my accent.
We'll just nip down, Adam. Sorry, it's only 545 miles or something.
It's not that far.
It is.
Well,
It is.
Oh, nah.
I don't know.
On Sunday, one of the guys I work with, he's a pilot. So we're planning going for a flight on Sunday. So I was
Oh,
going to say to him, do you want to head down to Brighton? But I'm not. I'm not sure that's
That
going to
would be
happen.
hilarious. Just
I
the
know,
queue, just looking up at the sky, just see Adam parachuting down.
I don't think he would appreciate if I jumped out his plane, however.
Just here, mate. That's it. Stop. Hover there. That's it.
Yeah. Dude, I can
Jump straight out.
Jeremy, catch me!
I just look up and just see like the parachute's not working.
Free
All
fall.
I can think about is that old
Well,
chicken
see for the
nugget
spare
advert.
seat, guy. You can hop in with us, and we'll tandem our way down onto.
Okay, yeah. You know, it's not won't be my first rodeo. Amy, tell me, you're making, so you're feeding and watering,
I am the
And you-
Steve
and-
Versey slings.
and you're making notes.
Yeah, no, I just keep a record of who has eaten and who's not, and
All
then
the spawn stuff, but can it?
Have you
Then you can-
numbered each
yeah, I've
pot?
numbered them all. Yeah.
Ah, so
So,
Named them all.
33. You haven't named them all though.
no, they've all got
I
numbers.
think if I
Well,
did
I
that with my
haven't
true spiders, I wouldn't be able to work. Like
No.
like Jesus.
Oh, I couldn't
Just-
name all of these. Some of them are like chunky butt. We'll just call it chunky butt. You're not getting fed tonight. But yeah, they're doing really well. I've lost about 11, I think, since. So I had 71, and now I've got 60, which is not too
Not
bad.
so bad. Yeah, no, it's not too bad
It's
at
not
all.
too bad because it's been a good few months now. Like they are growing quite slowly though, but then I'm not overfeeding them, and
Yeah,
I'm
not
not
power
keeping
feeding
them like too warm. No, because I want them to grow nicely, and it's my challenge. See how many I can get, and then when they're juvies, they will be ready for sale.
Sorcher, the crazy bastard in the chat, has done that with huntsman babies. That must be
Oh my god. You've named every single
numbered them, I think.
Yeah, a
I
number in them.
numbered them. So you
see-
sat there. Oh, I couldn't. I could. If I did
When
that with
I,
my David Bowie slings. Jesus.
When I bred my snakes, I numbered them as they hatched. And
Yeah,
I've
yeah,
still
yeah.
got some of those snakes. I've
That's
got
a
number
horrible
7.
way of doing it.
He's called 7. I've got 6. I've got 5. They actually kept the names of the numbers, so
Wow,
You
why
know.
not?
I'm not happy with these as well. Which ones I keep?
Yeah, I've
He's cute.
called mine all Dave. Dave.
Well, all of them.
All of them are
Saves
Dave.
any confusion, don't it?
Yeah, male and female is Dave.
I'm a wait feed Dave.
Right.
I mean, it's pretty.
Yeah, Dave. So that mature male Balf you sent me, Amy,
Oh yeah.
is still living with the female.
Is it?
Yeah, he doesn't
Well,
want to come out.
He
He's
came
living in-
straight out of the communal, didn't he?
Oh yeah, so he's well in the, he's in a burrow. He comes out, drinks, goes back in. So I'm just leaving him there.
Leave him.
Yeah.
I got a few more, so don't worry
Yeah,
about
I know.
it.
It's mental, isn't it? Like that's the only thing about massive communals all over the hobby. Everyone's got about 20 males.
Yeah.
There's
I
no
got one
shortage of Balf males, that's for sure.
No. You just got to give me the heads up, though. I need about 2 weeks' notice because they're not easy to get out. So
Yeah, I bet. Yeah.
I stayed up late for your one, and he come out, and I was like, got you now.
You're sitting
I
there with eye
literally
drops
was
like
like,
3 in the morning, like
Boom.
just with catch cup ready, like come on, come out.
Totally
So
is. Totally
I
true.
just wouldn't have the patience. I just like literally tear the
Go
plate.
to lunch and
Just like you, Peter.
just a
my hand.
hand of God, just like
Yeah.
you're coming with me.
The claw.
Exactly.
Yeah. I'm here. Yeah, well, what else, isn't there?
Just licking their penny palps.
The
chosen one.
The God knows boss.
Steve 1, Steve 2, Steve 3, Steve 4, and so on.
All
Except
But
Steve's
even
and
then, like,
Dave's.
I wouldn't do that.
A, B, A, C.
It'd just still be Steve.
Just like-
And
Like with
number
these
12.
Javanas that just hatched out. I don't know how well that's going to focus. I just had these Javanas hatch out, and I'm not. And there's like what 30 or 40 from this tiny little sack. You see it down there.
Ah, it's in the
Yeah,
in the water
bottle
bowl, yeah.
Yeah, what I've done with the Huntsmans, I found is better for me to just pull it and I pop it into a little bottle cap and just have
Yeah.
it tear open. And when they're ready to climb out, they climb out.
Yeah.
And
It's a good
they've
plan.
just started to climb out and they're all over the place. If you think I'm naming these or numbering them, there's no way. Because if I
That's
tried
your
to pop the
challenge,
lid
though,
open,
Jeremy. Oh,
no,
Mine eventually.
they're going to
Mine
be free roam if I
dead.
do that. What was
What's that?
Mine's has gone off to the big old. Where the fuck?
Is it dead,
Oh,
Spud?
no.
Yeah, but she's ancient. I mean, how she's lasted this long is beyond
That's
me. But,
Gonathopolistes, isn't it?
it was one of the random ones that I think
Did
I
I
got
take-
a random one sent from TSS, and then one of them dropped a sack, and this was the only one I kept to grow on.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, she's had a good old long life. She's racked me up some views on Insta and stuff, but her time is coming.
Well, that's a shame, bud.
Aw.
Yeah, she was my last huntsman, but she's done really, really well. So she's really, really.
How
cool.
long did you have her, like, did it take for her? Like,
I honestly,
uncomfortable?
Amy, you know, I've got a memory like a sieve. I don't even know what I did yesterday. To me, she'd been on the
I was
go for a
banking
year.
on you knowing, though. I thought you'd go, yeah, 25 months, you know.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
And we'll go with that.
She started this small and she ended up that size. And
I
No,
know
she's
all
a
of us
good
keep
couple of- she's a good-
notebooks. Like,
yeah, I'm rubbish at keeping notes, but
I
she's good couple of years. I'd have to go back and see when I first got my first huntsman off that. Remember TSS did the big mystery box thing and
Yeah,
they
yeah.
spammed
Aye.
with it. So we're going back to that kind of, which was what, a couple of years ago.
yeah.
So
I've just
she's
got
been on the go for a couple of years.
molt,
That's not bad, then.
molten pairing dates on mine that I use on with masking tape. So it looks well. I look well. It's all messy as fuck, yeah, but it doesn't matter. Don't think about
I
what's
really need to
happening
start
here.
keeping track of like egg sacs and stuff because I've got a couple now, and I've got a third Dolomides Ocophilicensis sac, and I'm just like, I don't know, I can't remember when it was laid now, so I'm like keeping an eye on it and just hoping it doesn't hatch in the enclosure because it's all loose, and I don't want these slings getting everywhere. I've already had a
Oh, man.
nightmare today trying to pack some of these slings for the show, just them bolting everywhere. I'm like, oh, okay.
I bet it ain't easy.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
It's a nightmare.
When I
I
was
wouldn't have
open
to
it,
do
and
it.
they're all like, wee! Just
aye,
running
when I was
out.
selling those Gonathopolistes Kochi, I was like had them in 5 litre, you know, these
The cubes.
square bastards, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like some people were buying like one at a time, so they were ending up having 5, like or more. Just opening the top and just sweeping them and like sending them a message going, "Are you okay? Have you got loads?" Yeah, because like I'm not separating them.
You think I'm chasing after one sling?
Yeah, finding them
It's
everywhere.
going to be a
like,
lucky dip at the Brighton show. Like, I think there's like 2 or 3 in a multiple pot. So you're paying for one,
Yeah.
and you're getting the price. You're paying for one, you're getting 3. So it's like,
happy days.
you're lucky.
Yeah.
It's like when
But,
Lucian sent me, because I did a 50-50 deal with Lucian, and he sent me them all individually packed, like in little vials. I was like, you can't be kidding me. Like, kudos to him, man, because I wouldn't have done it. Just like, yeah, here.
just take them
Yeah.
all.
So I do is like, yeah, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2,
Oh,
1, 2.
sorry, Penny.
Yeah, it's madness.
But yeah, the
Jeremy.
Javanas, I want to give them some flies, and then a bunch of them escape. There's 5 in here, and I don't want to put them back inside because I don't want to
You
open this cotton bud again.
Yeah,
like-
you got 5 there in the tub, but you
They're
open
gonna-
it and
they're
you'll
gonna
have 10
explode.
outside again. Yeah,
Exactly. So it's like there's 5 already escapes, let alone how many still in here.
that's why like
Oh,
been
yeah.
modifying these 5 litre ones, so they've got the little vents in the top, and then those little feeding things, you know, little feeding hole. But the only problem with
that's
that,
good.
the only problem with that is that all the huntsmen they line up in the feeding hole, and then once you open it, it's like.
That's what I've been using, like my old fruit fly, the little sponge
They're
things,
good,
because
yeah,
you can just like you can just tap on the top and they'll fall off.
Oh,
And then, Chad,
Frankus!
to answer your
Hang on.
question, I've got your
Yeah.
one here, little baby goon in there. So the little one's doing well. They're all fat. It's hilarious watching these little vinegaroons eat. Like they're so aggressive for their size. It's hilarious.
They're absolutely awesome.
They're proper like hunt down their prey. They're not scared of anything.
The weaklings are actually better than the adults.
Yeah,
The adults
really
are
are.
gorgeous.
they are.
Yeah.
But when they're babies, they have the red pedipalps where the little thing at the front and the little modified feeler legs. They're red, and it's just so pretty. I wish they kept it.
It's the fact that they basically just bear hug their prey to death.
It's like a bear trap, just
Took the men and just
and then
like
just
couldn't
start
say if it would be a arachnid
chewing
or
away.
a bit of both.
It's like, I don't know what I'd rather be eaten by, a vinegaroon, a scorpion, or a mantis, because oh god, it's just I couldn't imagine just being squeezed and just getting chomped on.
May I have a jingle bell?
What?
Hey, Tommy,
Hang on 1 second. I think I've got a cat at my door, so give me 2 seconds.
Just a random cat come chapping at your door like, feed me. I want some cat food.
I heard there's grub around here.
Gar, when are you next going to be this direction? Out of curiosity.
I don't know, mate. Why? What's up?
Because I've got a spider here that needs to go to Jeremy, but there is no post office in the village anymore. So trying to post anything is an absolute pissing nightmare.
Yeah, sound man. No worries. You want me to pop up this weekend?
Just whenever's good for you, and I'll give you money for postage and stuff if you can send it off to Jeremy.
Yeah, man.
It's just as I say, I would have
don't
to.
worry, Adam. I'll ping Gar some money for postage. I'll cover the postage cost. Don't worry.
Cool. But I figure if somebody has a local post office, it's going to be far easier than me trying to get into town.
Travel to and then
Well,
post it from town.
I work Monday to Friday, so I don't ever have a chance to get to a post office.
Oh, tell me about it.
So
I only have Wednesdays off, and then most of the time they're asking me to do overtime. So it's like,
Yeah.
I've had people being like, "Oh, are you able to post out this week?" I'm like, "No,
Well, I
I'm
used
sorry."
to
they
be
asked me to work again."
I used to be able to prep stuff, and then I could leave it in the house, and my wife would take it down when she was all like, But they shut the post office in the village, so we've got
Oh, such a pain.
it is a nightmare trying to put. I can't really post anything without sort of huge planning effort going into it. Shut up, Gav.
Hi there, Charles. Thanks for coming to the channel. So, Charles, yeah, dude, I'll do it. I've got a couple of other people joining us as well now. They're just messaging me now. So sorry, I've been a bit like I can't do two things at once at the best of times. And like this StreamYard thing is mind blowing because like I can do all this kind of shit with the woo. There we are, mate. You're in the chat now. Music and all that, and I've got Dave from Dave's Little Beasties turning up now.
Oh,
He's right
wow.
Just sent us a message. Frankus Lee as well about DWA
He's right up
stuff.
the back there. He was out and about, but now he's been gone into hiding.
Oh, let me see if I can show off my female. Hold on.
I'll leave him sitting there in case he decides to come out again.
Got stuff everywhere. Oh my god.
How are
she's
the?
not out. She's just tucked in at the back there.
Oh yeah. Is
I
anyone?
really love the way the enclosure turned out. Looks great.
Yeah, they're good little webbers, like.
And their webs look like cotton candy. So cute.
Yeah, that beautiful kind of pink.
Is that the FP blue?
Good evening,
Yeah.
Frankus.
Hello.
Hello. How's it going?
Hi.
We can't hear you, bud. I don't know what's going down.
Probably what I did. Didn't have my headphones connected to it.
He's not.
Can you hear
30
me?
seconds.
Let me go up.
I'm speaking, but nobody can hear me.
Oh, do they?
Old man technology. No.
No.
Sounds like
It might be the Michael.
glasses. Masses.
Sorry, we'll get there in a sec. Sort just saying they do home deliveries now. Home pickups for next day delivery.
Yeah, but the problem is I work in a freezing cold warehouse, so if I pack it and take it away with me, then it's not really going to be alive for
Not
very long.
flammable.
Good evening, Dave.
Hey,
Day.
Hello.
how are we
How's
all?
it going? We're all
Doing
well,
good,
I think.
thanks.
I've only literally been in about 45 minutes.
Have you had your tea yet?
Yeah, quick nosh and,
Yeah, me too. I'm asleep. I had, and then
It'll be a bag of crisps.
flash the flannel around and that is about it. Yeah.
thanks everyone for joining anyway. So
Two is to the right here, and I'm stuck in the middle.
Frankus, can we hear you yet?
Oh.
No, no.
One of the most influential men I know, and we can't hear a bloody word he said.
Oh well. We've
He's
got
on mute.
some people. Charles is saying, hi Dave, thanks again for my little beasties. Dave's a legend, guys, always happy to help. Isn't that right, man?
He is a legend. I totally agree.
You're too kind.
That's true.
To Brighton? Who's going?
I'm vending there.
Yeah? Cool,
Yes. Second time vending. Chasing true spider slings all day today. It's a nightmare.
cool. Oh, nice. Got anything in particular you're looking for?
I mean, I'm probably going to pick up a couple groups of millipedes because I'm trying to get back into those again. And
Yeah.
then anything true spiders, pairs or large females, really.
Yeah.
You got the true spider itch, haven't you, man?
Yeah,
Big
and
time, I
thanks to
think.
Jeremy, I'm now kind of like really interested in them as well.
Well,
I
they're
love
the-
that
They're the best. They're the
Get,
best.
start with you cannot go wrong with the rhesus. Get some rhesus.
I've got them as well.
Yeah, and you don't remember that in
The Coccopleia hibernalis. Everybody needs that.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Definitely.
They're quite good webbers as well.
I'm gonna put I've had them in the deli cups at the moment. I'm gonna upgrade them into one of the little acrylic 15 by 20s I have, and hopefully get her to web like a massive web tunnel. Because
I've
I've
got
seen how they
one-
can web in the wild.
One in the old jar here that's absolutely webbed the
Oh wow!
cactus around here. And then the other one's in a big old sweetie tub just now. And it's been webbing like crazy.
Frankus has just messaged me now. He's jumped off for a second. He's going to sign on with his laptop now, so he'll be back.
Okay.
Sound.
Oh, yeah, look at
So
that.
cool. I know you all, right, guys? But like, I'm sure there's everyone knows you, right? But let's do a quick around the room. So, I'm Gar. I'm from ArachnoTube, from Swansea originally, and I'm living in Edinburgh. I'm porky mad and trying to breed as much as I can this year. Sound. Amy.
Hi, I'm Amy, Pet Rock and Roll. I love tarantulas. You put me on the spot. You see, I haven't been doing
I love it.
videos, so I'm not used to it. But
You're
anyway,
natural.
yeah. I'm also on the BTS committee.
Woo!
BTS. Yeah, so yeah, that's me.
So Amy's on the committee, so she can stop me from getting banned from the BTS at some point.
yeah.
Jeremy, fire away.
But yeah, hi, my name is Jeremy from the channel Jeremy's Wild World. Currently keeping a whole variety of inverts, but breeding wise and trying to focus more on the true spiders, getting them established here in the UK, and hopefully at some point working with other people to get them to the point where it's like tarantulas, where the majority of the true spiders within the hobby are captive bred rather than wild caught. And so been working with a few different kinds of species and hoping to get that all sorted out in the next few years or so.
Someone signed this guy up for a TV presenter job. That's awesome.
Yeah, surely,
Very good.
Dave,
surely.
Thank you.
and yourself, Dave?
Oh yeah, I'm Dave from Dave's Little Beasties, and we just play around at everything really, and
That's the way.
and have a crack at whatever comes along. So yeah, and then just basically just share it with everybody who can be bothered to watch. So
That's the way, mate. That's the way. Nice one. Thank you for joining as well. Adam?
I'm a chicken hunter hunting for a chicken. I'm paranoid when I hear the clock clicking. Hear me growl. Grr, grr. I'm the Invertarian, and I keep inverts, spiders, stuff, creepy stuff.
And
Yeah,
keep an eye out for me for beavers.
Aye, beavers. We go beaver hunting. Me and my Welsh friend, we went hunting for beavers.
Lovely. Gav?
I'm Gav from Impossible Inverts. I keep tarantulas, inverts, anything that's cool looking. And I also like doing stuff with wood.
You play with wood a lot.
He does play with wood a lot.
Yeah, but his
Very
wood,
good at it.
is... Look how just amazing his wood is.
Just disappeared.
He's gone into the garden.
Oh, man,
The
that's cool.
two-string thing.
That is the most beautiful wood I have ever held in my hands.
Just as we're
that's
doing
amazing.
introductions, I've got another one coming.
Speaking of wood,
Going. This is like, yeah. Shady
Oh,
thing
God,
says
don't
this is
tell me
like an
Sam's
AA
muted as well
meeting.
now.
Sam,
Hi,
can
my
we hear
name's
you?
Jeremy. I've been keeping for 3 years.
I'm an arachnoholic.
Please take my bank details away from me because I can't stop buying spiders.
well, lucky you having money in your bank.
I remember working for the when I was in the spider shop, and Lee answered the phone, and someone wanted to like ask him if he took card over the phone, and he goes, "Mate, I'll take cash, card, or gold teeth."
Any crypto.
Yeah,
Bitcoin
that's it.
especially.
Yeah, no Dogecoin though, because it's gone to shit.
Dogecoin.
If anyone wants to see the face of an old man that looks confused, just look at the bottom of the screen.
I keep having to mute the mic because the baby.
Yeah. Oh, right, yeah.
There
Sorry,
we
man.
Yeah, watch your language, people. Those young, impressionable ears.
And he's not talking about Jeremy.
Hey, I'm 21, okay? I'm not that. I don't look it, I know, but I swear to God, I'm 21.
Like Jaden, like you're 12, really.
It's the height.
It
If I
sounds
was a
like
little taller, but no, stuck at 5'3" since year 8, so it's like the genes didn't do me good.
Oh no, man! I'm a foot taller than you.
Gee whiz.
I'm tiny. I'm stunted. What can I say?
I'm stunted. My
I
name's
say
Jeremy.
my
and
cousin's like 5'10", and I'm just there like, oh, okay, you are 15.
the maximum height for a dwarf is 4'11", so you know.
I'm not getting to that height just yet.
How can there be a maximum height?
Well, after that, you're not a dwarf anymore, are you? You womble.
Yeah.
So, anyone here based in the southwest?
I am.
Southwest, whereabouts is that?
I'm not sure. My geography is useless.
I'm in Hertfordshire, if that helps.
Hertfordshire. No. Oh no, there's some. Oh, the chat has asked. That's all.
Yeah, the south coast,
South coast.
Bournemouth.
Bournemouth.
Ah.
There's
Yeah.
Plym. What are you? What are you?
Near Bath. No, I don't
Sam.
know.
It's not. Is it Plymouth or Portsmouth?
Yeah. Plymouth, I think it's from, yeah.
Oh.
Oh man, look at that. That's another next generation.
I know.
Look at that face.
No.
There's a crazy bug person there if ever I saw one. Oh. Hey Francis, have we got you back now?
Can we hear
Hello,
you?
can you hear me?
You did it.
Finally!
The sound
Awesome,
technician
guys.
doesn't know how to work sound.
It's the little things in life, and I do this for a living.
I know.
Oh man. We can all drop the ball.
Congratulations,
Yeah, everyone, congratulations, Sam.
Yeah, congratulations.
Yay.
Okay.
His winky works.
His winky works a lot, doesn't
Yeah.
it?
You know what? Can I just say at this stage what an honour it is just to be with you guys? Actually, it's been a long time, hasn't it?
It's been years, mate. Yeah.
I obviously I've met you separately at shows. Dave, I haven't met yourself, with respect. Love your channel. Yeah, it's nice. It's nice to sort of get together, and I don't normally get opportunities to do this. But my kids have grown up and moved out, so in which case I've got a lot of time on my hands.
You're
Nice.
lucky now.
Yeah,
You're living your real life.
free at
that's
last.
it. Absolutely, absolutely.
So yeah, thanks for joining, man. I thought, well, I'd invite as many people who I really like and respect onto the channel as well, and it makes sure that I don't fall asleep and then cancel the live stream like I did last week and the week before. So yeah,
That's why I want to
I'm relying on you guys.
ridiculously drunk and start ordering random tap.
Yep. So, son,
I've got to say congratulations to you actually on your Lephistius video. I've just got 4 Lephistius, and
Yeah.
they're pretty awesome. I had opportunity to get some about 7 or 8 years ago, and unfortunately, every single one of them was DOA, and I was gutted about it. But yeah, your video was good, man. Really, really good, and that the male is a beast, an absolute beast.
just you can't beat them, man. I don't think. Of course, they're a tub of mud for most of the time, but just seeing,
you have to respect that.
just seeing them, feed like that once every in a blue moon is great. It is, and they're so quick.
Yeah,
Absolute
it's
lightning.
crazy how quick they are.
yeah, but they
They
can't.
put
climb
huntsmen to shame.
Andy.
No, they can't climb for shit. Yeah.
And I was listening whilst I was trying to get back online. I was listening to Adam talking about Cucania hibernalis. As I recall, that is the only species that I think it's the longest lived true spider. I think it's like 8 or 9 years.
I believe so,
and
yeah.
The only female that actually continues to molt after maturity.
It's
Oh,
interesting.
really?
Mine haven't. I've got a couple, but neither are full size yet. So I'm kind of hoping I might have a male-female pairing. But
no, they're really cool spiders. Nick Kruger, a guy in the States, he's kept loads of them, and if you don't follow him, his Instagram page is just it's just ridiculous.
I love Nick. He's absolutely bonkers.
Mad as a box of frogs, they say.
Yeah, mad as well. He grows poison plants as well, doesn't he? And like, he just loves everything toxic.
If you don't do that, that's quite handy. I live quite near Wisley and Kew, so you get things like Nepenthes, which are the pitcher plants, and Sarracenia and Dionea, which are obviously Venus flytraps. But they're cool. They're cool. My next one is to try and get Cryptiodes, which is it's the fastest acting. It's like I think it's called bladderwort. And it's again, I'm thinking about sort of maybe just getting a setup with that in it. But lots going on.
Cool, man. What? Are you still got your license?
No. Do you know what? I spend a lot of time overseas, and as a result of that, True Spiders obviously have got a completely separate life cycle. I'm looking to move at the moment, but because I'm living in a giant cage, it's full of scaffolding at the moment. I'm having to delay that. So in terms of like creatures, I've got very, very little. I'm trying to sort of reduce my collection down. And at the same time, I've got some enclosures which are available if people are interested.
All right, hit them up,
I
man.
don't really want any money for them. I just want them gone, to be honest, so I don't have to move when I move.
Oh, nice. Look at that.
I always need enclosures.
Whereabouts are you there, Frankus?
I'm Hampshire. I'm Aldershot.
Okay, so anyone in the chat? There we are. You've just been offered free enclosures.
when are you coming to Scotland?
Well, I come to Scotland quite a bit. We've got an office in Edinburgh, so and I think last time I was up there, I spoke to you, Adam. I was at the airport,
Yeah.
like a delay of about 8 hours,
Yeah.
and yeah, I just couldn't get across to you because I didn't have a vehicle. But I'm up there all the time, and I do travel quite a lot around the UK. So luckily my work's pretty good like that. But yeah, any of you guys want to sort of just meet up
Hook
for a
up.
beer or something? Let's do it.
Sweet. I'm about half hour from Edinburgh now, so next time you're up.
How was the move, Gar?
It was absolutely terrible. It was soul destroying, mate. It's like 11 and a half or 11 hours and 45 minutes driving straight up in a van full of enclosures and spiders and dogs and cats. And yeah, it was, I survived it, but I don't want to do it again. Like,
Yeah.
I'm here now, and I'm staying here. That's it. Happy days.
It's sometimes good to sort of compartmentalize things, break it down, sort of separate it, move it, and start again.
I did a lot of, like you're doing, I did a lot of reducing before the move. So really the only pain in the ass was moving the frog tanks, which, quite big.
What
just
are they,
heavy. Then Leucomelas I've got.
Yeah.
And then I got those from Guy.
Is it Azurus?
Azurus, yeah. So I've got another big tank here that I'm going to do for Ronatomea, so the thumbnail frogs, and I'm going to put like 6 or 8 or something in there. So that's going to be cool. Yeah, but something that people don't tell you about frogs, right? When you get frogs, is that they are loud as hell. In the morning, right? The males are calling, and it's like an alarm. It's like a trill alarm clock. So yeah, so I'm like, do I put another 8 in that room? I don't know, because it's gonna be like.
I think you got the bumblebee, haven't you? You got the bumblebees, and they're one of the loudest.
Yeah.
So there's I think there's 2 males and a female in there at the moment, but only one male is calling, and he's really loud. He's like super loud.
Their call is just insane. Like Pac-Man, he's great big huge things, and then I've got the most pathetic little.
Yeah. They are.
Like the yellow dart frog's like the most poisonous animal on the planet. It only gains that poison by the creatures that it eats in the wild. Whereas if you keep them in captivity, they're completely harmless.
Yeah, absolutely harmless. But you've got to be quite careful for about 6 months to a year, though, because a lot of people sell them as saying they're captive bred, but they're not.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah.
Don't
So
go licking any frogs.
That's the answer.
Just don't lick them. Don't lick them. That's the.
I know there's a certain type of frog you can lick. Don't worry about that.
So what about sustainability? I know, Gar, you're a massive sustainability fan.
Yeah.
But obviously, there's a few of us on the call that have been in the hobby for a long, long time, and we've seen quite a lot of changes with regards to the way that we receive our creatures. And now, obviously, things like brown boxing is very much frowned upon. Whereas, I suppose, if we all admit it at some stage, we've probably got creatures of like dubious origin, for instance.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah.
Do you think, generally, to the group that we're now getting to a point where we're sustaining ourselves? I mean, I would say something like P. metallica, for instance, a creature that was only available in a certain range is now just reduced because of deforestation. We're now in the pet hobby actually propping up like the native population, if you like. How do you guys feel generally about where that's going? Are we sort of looking after ourselves? Are we creating problems there, or what's everyone's feeling on that?
Personally, P. metallica was brought in with only six females were brought in by a German, and basically every single P. metallica in the hobby up until about 10 years ago was from that lineage. the breeding in captivity is always the way to go, right? People are always going to have the want to keep an animal, to keep a pet. That is, it's just there. You're never going to make people stop doing that. So if you can limit the amount, or let's ethically source the amount that are coming from the wild, right, to prop up, like you said, to prop up those lineages and gene pools, then that's a good thing. But it's got to be done responsibly. And I think some people, kind of like the BTS, should be encouraging it a bit more. You know, one person like me saying, "Come on, man, you know, don't steal things in the wild," basically, is not going to do anything for it. But if you've got an organization behind it, that might give us a little bit more of a chance. But there's like, you know, not even 1% amount in the wild of P. metallica that are in the hobby now. You know, they reckon, what is it, 100 meters by 200 meters or something is where they've originally found, and there's nothing left, you know, of that area. Yeah, there's some work being done out there to try and keep the habitat, to buy back land, but it's not really successful at the moment anyway. And of course, you know, if we're responsible, we've got to be on both ends. If we're captive breeding as well, we've got to make sure we're breeding with the same animals, so we're not dirty in the pond as well, you know, because there's no use. As soon as that animal is being bred in captivity, it can never be released back into the wild. Even though spiders, they're not a mammal, they don't need to be readjusted to the wild. They would just plonk out there and they do their thing. But the danger is that I don't think we're responsible enough to be able to captive breed and then re-release. So,
well, that's kind of, I guess that's, you know, we've all seen like the hybrid stories. People not necessarily fully identifying the creature or pairing it with another, and then, you know, you end up with certain crossbreeds. But I just think the whole P. metallica thing is, obviously we're destroying rainforest at such a rate, and the P. metallica stands out because it's beautiful. However, how many other creatures have we destroyed that, you know, just might be a brown spider or something? Do you know what I mean?
And sometimes they're the coolest, you know.
So the other thing is, how many haven't we actually discovered yet? And you know, I think that's also a problem. As new species are discovered, people within the hobby will hear of its existence, like the Celadonia, the T. Celadonia, and the demand is immediately there for it, which almost encourages people to take them before any permits have been done, any legislation's been passed. And I think that's a problem, is people are impatient when it comes to new discoveries. They kind of almost pressure the traders into getting their hands on them. And I think people within the hobby need to just be a little bit more patient when a new species has been discovered. You know, wait until it's done properly, wait until it's legalized, and then look at possibly transporting them. But, you know, that's demand's always going to be there. So sadly, people are always going to smuggle. I love
the work that TSS are doing now with the Mexican spiders. You know, they're providing CITES papers and saying it, like really saying on their website, you know, please keep these pure. You know, if you sell on the spiders, give the CITES document with it.
Because I brought 2 Smithies from them ages and ages ago now, and I got the paperwork with them. And it's actually pretty cool, like, to have the paperwork with them and prove that they are captive bred, you know.
Pass it on. I mean, just, you know, cool. Tiltacotl of Brachypelma in such a state at the moment in the hobby, same as Porkies. I mean, I reckon out there probably today, right now, about 60% of the Miranda in our tanks are all hybrids. Tigrina Wasseli Miranda hybrids. So, you know,
I think an advantage of breeding and such, like, because social media and things like YouTube, TikTok, and what, you know, because when people used to come into the hobby, it was very difficult to communicate with other people on a level that we can now and say, right, I need a mature male of this, or I need a female of that. So people would go to their breeders or the online, their shops, and the shops would meet that demand by probably removing, from the wild. But now that there is this huge network and it's an ever-growing hobby, I think it's whittling down the necessity to remove from the wild, because people can join a Facebook group or follow somebody on TikTok and message them and say, look, I've got this spider, do you know, or do you have what I need? And there's far more accessibility for people now than there ever has been.
I think the biggest problem is we need to be realistic within the hobby, and unfortunately we're not qualified enough as a general rule to actually identify everything. So keeping, we will lose the pure bloodlines. The pure strain will hit the wall. And the other big problem we've got is reintroduction of any species back to the wild is drastically flawed. I've been involved in a number of different reintroduction programs for different animals and birds, and the red tape is horrendous, and it's not something that the average enthusiast can get involved with, because there is so much legislation involved to make sure that you do have pure blood in the first place, all these different things. And also as well, we have to face the fact that the actual climate that we're hoping to reintroduce back into is dwindling faster than we can organise ourselves to. So,
I've been trying to organise something for the last kind of 8 years. It just always feels like an uphill battle. So I just let anyone do what they want to do now.
Yeah, I think it's, for every successful reintroduction, there's probably 50 that don't go nowhere.
Yeah.
Red squirrels have been a classic one. I've been involved with them for like 30 odd years. And, it's just never going to happen, because we are not socially adequate enough to deal with the greys. Yeah. So the reds will never, ever win. Although everyone sits there and they go, oh, I'd love to see reds in my garden, but they don't want to see a grey squirrel killed. So you're never, ever going to win. So, again, it's flawed. I mean, we've done a project, blimey, now we're talking back when I was about 19, the reintroduction of red kites, when there was no red kites about. Now they're literally all across the country. They're everywhere. It was a success in a way, but it also becomes a problem in itself, because it takes so long. On average, it takes something like 10 years to get the general public's mindset into following something. Like when they done the badgers back in the 80s, there was a lack of badgers. It took around 10 years to actually get people to follow along the lines of protecting badgers, to the point then where we were so successful that badgers become overrunning and they were becoming a nuisance and a problem. So then we put in and said, well, we need to control their numbers. Well, we spent 10 years telling people you mustn't hurt them. Now all of a sudden we're saying, hang on a minute, we need to control them now because it was so successful. And now you're looking at another 10 years to change that mindset into now what you want to do now. So in 20, 25 years, it's gone full circle. And now everyone is confused. Because on one hand, they're saying, well, you're saying we should protect them. And on the other hand, they're saying, well, hang on, we need to do something about it. We need to control them in a certain way. So it's very, very difficult. And, and I think we need to accept that within the hobby, there is going to be casualties. We are going to lose, like you were saying about Metallicas and that. I mean, I do here pretty much anything that comes in the room, I try and breed. And that is purely for my own interest, because what I do here is not going to make any difference globally. The
thing is with Metallica, right, is that it's super easy to spot it's a Metallica. Yeah, so you can it's going to be, you're going to be breeding it with a Metallica.
Yeah.
Problem comes then is when you've got the brown jobbies, when you've got like the Tigrina Wassaili Miranda, they look pretty much the same.
Well, the big problem lies is in the males. You just look at the male.
Yeah.
And you're
exactly.
like, well, that don't look quite like it, but the person said to me, I'm damn sure it is.
Yeah.
And you now this question
I
mark.
don't breed it then. Yeah, if I've
It's
got a
like
question
unless
mark,
you can
I
get
don't
onto the
breed it.
microscopic level and actually look at the tibial hook shape, pattern, the individual hairs, and other ways of identifying these pokies, there's no way to guarantee that.
Have you tried that on live pokey?
100% pure. Exactly. It's like there's no way. Unless you plan on gassing that thing and knocking it out, which it probably won't work.
Yeah.
It's like there's no way it will. You can guarantee it's a Miranda, it's a Tigrinal Ocelli, it's a hybrid. You never know.
It's also as well. It comes down to, like we were saying in the beginning, the actual individual expertise of that person who's doing the looking. And it is, but make no mistake about it. It is a really qualified field to be able to sit there and identify something because it's got 3 hairs more than the last one. Average Joe Blogs is not capable of doing that. I certainly wouldn't be able to sit and do that. It's a completely different field.
What about by playing devil's advocate then, and having a licensing for breeding? Do you know what I mean? So only qualified people would be able to do it.
But the thing is, it didn't make any difference until people started taking it seriously, and that's the problem. Because unfortunately, as we all know, sometimes, I mean, I like Facebook. I think I've been on Facebook since 2006, and in my mind, I've been trying to help people identify creatures for that long. But if someone wants to breed something with something, a lot of the time it's kind of hit and hope. They're like, well, we'll see what happens. And I remember posting a picture of a hybrid, which I didn't breed. I just ended up with it. And it was a Pteronoculus murinus / Lugardi.
I remember that one.
Yeah, and I got like people were sort of like hating on me and stuff. And I was like, whoa, hang on a minute. I didn't do this. I'm just it. I don't know. It's kind of, sometimes we live in a society now. For instance, I think spiders are stigmatic.
Yes.
Like red grey squirrels, and I get that completely where you're coming from. It's like a different side of people. It's like, well, you're taking away this and taking away that. But what we do with spiders and what have you, the way that we're into it, obviously, it's kind of frowned upon. I had to pull a video years and years and years ago that I wanted to make about this same issue within the insect community. There's a guy, I won't mention his name, Insect House, who basically put the stops on it, tried to sue me because I was going to make a video about his exploits. Because what he does is he goes out to countries and employs people to take creatures without scientific permit, without permission, and get these creatures. Some of them were very, very endangered within themselves, and brown box them. And I was kind of shut down. And I honestly, I'd love to be able to show you the video. I made it about 6 times, each time having to sort of address the way I said something. And yeah, it was one of those things where I was like, well, okay, well, why am I in YouTube for this? There is that public platform, but by the same token, when you're facing being shut down or being, or sort of being slandered almost, I found it quite difficult. And it happens a lot in the insect hobby, especially with butterflies, especially with beetles. But in the tarantula hobby, I don't know. It's kind of, it's kind of like almost like, there is no regulation there. And as much as I hate to say it, I love what Amy was saying about sort of getting papers, like having like a purebred, something that's actually tangible, makes a big difference, no matter what you're getting, and if you're going to be buying food or whatever it is, you want it to be sustainable. And what we do, obviously, it kind of counts amongst everyone else. We're under a microscope, as we know, because you know we're only like one accident away from like the sun or whatever, you know, trying to sort of shut us down. I've seen it with snakes, especially in this country, and spiders is probably just the next thing on the list. DWA, don't even get me started. You know, I've seen so many issues there. You know, in a way, we have to self-regulate. You know, if you can be in a situation where for like 2 or 3 spiders, you can pay like up to £1,000 for a DWA license through your local council, and also have to pay public liability insurance up to £10 million, right? Yeah. You're starting to, you know, for the sake of like a couple of creatures, you're like, okay. And the person that came out and done my DWA was a big cat expert. You're like, well.
The DWA format is a rolling joke.
Yeah, it's a joke.
I've been involved with venomous stuff for many years, and you know, when they basically put it down to your local vet to come out and vet your system and what you're doing and all the rest of it, you know, and the worst thing he's ever had to deal with was a snappy little, you know, little bloody poodle or something. It's just ridiculous. They've got no thing, and it's also exactly the same problem as well for pet shop licenses. You got people coming out that have got absolutely no idea, and they've got your livelihood in their hands. You know, and it's outrageous. It is absolutely outrageous the way that it's all dealt with. I mean, DWA in itself is well, it's farcical, really. I mean, even when you're looking at, looking at all your scorpions and things like that, you know, it's not the, I don't know. I think it's to try and keep it away from so-called sort of like, you know, silly people, and I guess that's where the money comes in, you know, because I think in my area, well, you can't even get a DWA license in Bournemouth.
No, I don't. No, actually, yeah, because you can actually search it. You can actually see, how many people within certain areas have got it. And
well, because we're literally on the coast and we're classed as a tourist resort, we cannot get it in Bournemouth. But if you go literally just inland, you can get it in Southampton. You know, so you know you can get it a 10-minute drive away. You can get one, but you can't get one in Bournemouth. They won't even allow them in Bournemouth. They won't even allow pet shops to hold venomous stock.
Oh, that's surprising.
So blanket venomous, so it doesn't matter DWA or not, just no venomous.
No venomous, not in Bournemouth.
Wow.
So and to be fair, it is one of those things that you can see where it does deter a certain element from wanting to own, because let's face it, most people, probably the vast majority of people that go down for a DWA inverts aren't necessarily interested in the inverts.
No,
interested in saying I've got something that'll kill you.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, we see it even within the previous spiders. I mean, how many people do you see, you know, bigging up the fact that they got a H-Mac or they got a feather-leg baboon, you know? These spiders are no worse than any other bleeding spider, but they've got a reputation. And
no, I mean, I'm not going to deny that in terms of no. I mean, I'm not going to deny that. I mean, there's certain things that aren't on the DWA that should be, in my opinion. Macrothalli, definitely.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I kept those things like 10 years ago, and they scared the hell out of me then. And like we had, I'm fairly sure we had like a 10, 12-year-old adult female, and she was a bitch. If like one of my Instagrams, going back like literally probably, I don't know, as far back as you can go, and I recorded a video of her, and you know, those things should be on the DWA. It's, you know,
I think it's a really difficult one, isn't it? Because I mean, I've got close on 50 Macrothalli, and I find them, to be fair, they got a defensive attitude and everything else. But I found the way that I've been dealing with them, I see very little of that, and I find them to be more of a skittish, nervous spider rather than an aggressive, dangerous spider. And I've got them from adults right the way down into slings, and it's I think there is a side to them, but I think it's something that I've learned as I've been looking after them, that you can deal with them in a way where I don't even see the defensive side anymore. So it's there's definitely something in there.
And that's the point of with stuff like the macrotheli, keeping them with people that actually know what they're doing, not just someone going, oh, macrotheli, they're a big aggressive spider, I'm going to buy it. Same thing with like you said, Dave, with the HMAC and Stromatopelma. They're like, oh, they're a big scary spider, I'm going to buy them, they're really defensive, and look at me, I'm cool, I can have this. It's again with regulating ourselves is ensuring that we question people when they are buying certain animals, and do they know what they're doing? Are they just buying it because it's something that will make them look cool?
The problem you're always going to get,
though,
there's always going to be somebody that has got like an OBT on their face or an HMAC on their
those TikToks. Just
I think this is one of the real big problems within the hobby as well. Is the macrotheli they're a really good there's plenty of them. But the macrotheli are a really good example actually, because I've come against this problem now. Now I've been trying to breed mine, and it's just sort of moving along slowly. We're waiting for different individuals to get ready. But then I've got loads and loads of people that are contacting me constantly. I want to buy a sling. I want to buy this. Now, the problem is, who am I to say you're not worthy one or experienced enough or whatever? And this has been something that's played on my mind since I started this project, is I don't actually feel comfortable saying I don't think you're really the right person for this. You're
not responsible for that.
I think you should.
Yeah.
I think a lot of traders, when it comes to like the sand spiders, the small, them idiots, a lot of traders will say, unless you have experience with the Sakaras, we will not sell you these. And I think TSS have got something on just now. It's basically saying that
tunnel webs, isn't it? Saying like we can deny purchase if we don't believe you're ready to keep the species.
And I think you get more respect and credibility for saying we will vet who we are going to sell these to.
Yeah, that's the problem, though, isn't it? It's the actual problem is the vetting.
Deciding.
Yeah. I mean, you could sit there and say to me, "Oh, I've kept loads of them in the past." Oh, that's good enough. Is that all it takes?
And anonymity online as well. It's like you could just be like, a kid could get their dad to buy them a red fang or a sand spider or a giant centipede, and then
I had a comment
13, 14-year-olds got it.
Channels about asking a guy who lived in Plymouth, I think it was. He lived in a flat. He was asking about how much it would cost to get a license to be able to keep Fenutria. Fenutria, I did like a 4.5 year life cycle with Fenutria. I recorded like everything, but I
was that sorry, Fraggers, was that Farah?
Say again?
Was it Farah?
I had Farah. Yeah, I had two different regions. I had San Ramon and an original Farah. And I recorded everything because I wanted to record like their life cycle. I kind of wanted to record mating, obviously the slings, and it was, you're always facing like a crisis of interest with something like that. It's because we all deal with spiders, so we kind of understand. We're not facing that psychological sort of like overcoming that situation. We're either former sort of arachnophobes, which is a lot of the time the case, or alternatively, you've kind of grown up with them, you want to understand them, you want to sort of demystify them. If you're going to do that, for me personally, I needed to go not straight to the top, but obviously in terms of the Fenutria, that's the reason why I wanted to be like, they were like the GOAT, they're like the greatest of all time. They're like the most badass spider. And if you can try and get your head around that, then everything else kind of seems to be easy. But again, you start to sort of, the whole self-regulation thing with DWA is, I kind of found myself that although I thought I was capable myself, who am I to judge, you know, who is also capable of doing that? There's a lot of people, you know, with like Butidi, scorpions, you know, those things, no joke, you know, whereas Fenuccia I was quite comfortable with. You know, in terms of interaction, they weren't half as skittish, but then you start to be scientific. You think, okay, well, I'm in like a 22-degree room versus like, you know, their normal sort of 35 degrees. And you try to understand that, but they were probably no more trouble, if you like, than a Brachypelma smithy. You know, they've all got like their own individual characters. They've all got like
understand them
temperaments.
It's like any animal as well. I think one thing I've always said to people when they're asked about spiders, scorpions, all this kind of stuff, is pretty much any animal on this planet, if you understand the animal you're working with, you will understand the signs that they are giving you to say, back off. And the example I always give, people always look at cats and dogs, and they will understand if a dog is growling and got its hackles up, you're not going to put your finger in its mouth. Or if a cat, again, is hissing and its claws are out, you're not going to try and pick it up. And it's that same principle that applies to, it's a matter of understanding your spider. If it's giving you the whole big, like,
Probably
you know,
fingers in there, really.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Let me tickle your belly.
Yeah, absolutely. But you know, they're primitive creatures. You know, let's face it. You know, and they do give us some surprises, which is fun.
Absolutely.
But it's like anything, you have to manage risk. And as I say, I'm no more qualified to tell you guys, well, yeah, by all means, you can keep a Fenuccia. You know, you could, but you know, what risk is that to your livelihood, your life, your kids, your family? And it's, you know, that's down to you whether you want to pay that cost.
I mean, I think it's the hobby. Like, everybody that knows me knows I would give my left testicle to keep Latrodectus. I find them fascinating, some of the abdominal markings. And it's not just for saying I've got Black Widow, because there's so many other within the Latrodectus family. There's so many beautiful spiders. And I probably know people that could send me, you know, these spiders. But the risk of me getting caught, not just the fine to myself, but it's these people that the papers pick up on, and it's the one individual that could ruin it for everybody. And I, as much as on a selfish level, I want to have them for my own interest, my own observations, I wouldn't do that to any of you guys, because my having them and getting caught risks all of you being able to be part of this hobby.
I think the big thing is that we tend to lump everybody in the same barrel, and you got you know, there's a certain amount of the hobby that literally just wants to collect a few spiders. There's others that just want to keep a few spiders. You know, I think anyone who's got a genuine actual interest in anything that's of a venomous nature, a highly venomous nature, they behave in a totally different way. You know, and I think if that's the problem, is we try to lump everybody under the same umbrella, and there's different people keep different things for different reasons, and that's where it all falls down. Really, that's where it's hard. I mean, you sound like with a Black Widow. I mean, they're so simple to look after. You know, they're really, really easy, and they're of no real threat either. You know, if you just follow the few golden rules, there's nothing difficult about them. They're really, really simple. But it's because everything gets lumbered under the same banner that we suffer.
But then that's, like Jeremy was saying, you know, TikTok and stuff, you're always going to get somebody that's going to have a scolopendra poking out their Jap's eye, because they want the views. They want somebody to go, oh, you're so brave, oh, you're amazing. And that's what people kind of, they're the ones that rack up all these billions of views, and people go, oh, these people are drawn to these things are absolute nutters, you know.
I'm becoming jaded in my old age. So whereas before it's a lot about like, oh, that, you know, can I get this spider? And other people would be thinking about, oh, that can, if you're not careful, that'll hurt you. Now, I don't give a shit if it hurts that person. I care about the spider. So are you going to be able to keep that spider well and fine, or are you going to be dick and kill that spider? That's most important. You can do whatever the hell you like, you know, as a human being. You know, you can go out and well, do anything you like. But when you're keeping an animal like that, it's all about whether you are sensible enough to make sure that that animal can thrive. So anyone out there who's listening, if you want to get whatever you like, if it kills you, it's your fault. I don't care.
I work in the pet shop.
The vast majority of
you know
people
what?
within the hobby are sensible. It's unfortunately the ones that rack up the huge amount of views that kind of tarnish it for everybody else.
Yeah, there's plenty of that. What's it called? Darwin Awards, isn't it? Let's thin them out, man. Let's just thin them out. It's fine.
Yeah.
Also, as well, if you think about it, in many countries around the world, what they class as their normal everyday pets, we class as outrageous here, and we need a DWA license for.
Yeah.
So, you know, when you start putting things into perspective, a lot of it depends on where you are, depends on how things are looked upon it. You know?
Well, look, between us and the USA, look at the amount of difference between what they can keep and what we can't, and vice versa. I mean,
exactly.
Half the stuff we desperately want is just wildlife to them.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've got them in my backyard, mate.
Yeah, it is literally that is the case, and I think it's we're always going to be, you know, we've got so much in the way of authority over what we can and can't do. But then saying that, I have a lot of subscribers in America, and the amount of them that say they struggle keeping certain things, certain states in America won't allow anything.
Yeah.
So, you know, even though they've got a lot of it, literally, like you say, running around the backyard, Australia is the same. You know, in Australia, they're really...
They're doing it right in Australia, though, aren't they? There's no in, no out, no nothing. You know, after all the calamity they've had over the last 30 years.
It's somewhat similar in South Africa, though, right? They can't touch their native species.
No.
Yeah.
No, it's. I think it carries a large fine. So,
yeah,
South Africa definitely. You know, a lot of their baboon species are actually protected.
Yeah,
Brilliant.
Yeah,
you know, and like,
I worked in the pet shop for 4.5 years, and do you know what? I have no issue if someone comes in, and it was quite often with bearded dragons, geckos, that sort of stuff. People want to come in and they want to bypass the learning part of it. They want to bypass the knowledge. You know, something is being, I don't know, on vogue at that time. And they're like, well, yeah, I just want this. I just want a bearded dragon. I just want the creature. When bearded dragons were like 20 quid, 30 quid to buy, and then you had to buy, you had to buy like an enclosure, and you had to buy this and buy that. So many creatures were bought without the proper care, you know, the proper husbandry to accompany that creature. And there's still an element of going that on now. Like local pet shops, they're not, you know, completely without fault. You know, they give a lot of bad, like duff information, like, you know, pet smarts and things like that. Oh yeah, you'll need like a heat mat with that. You know, you don't really, you know, you just need to do a little bit of research. I've got no problem with refusing people who haven't done their research. I think you kind of almost have to self-regulate. As I say, the DWA thing, I felt myself doing it a lot. But like normal creatures, you know, if someone wants to come in and they say, well, I want a kitten, you know, and they can demonstrate that like they can stand up, to be honest with you, you know, yes, you could probably look after a kitten. But something that, you know, you do care about and you do worry about its welfare, you want to ensure that the person that it's going to, you know, is going to look after it. You know, it's like classic cars. You know, please look after it. You know, do your research. Understand where it's from. Is it fossorial? Is it terrestrial? You know, is it arboreal? Just get the basics right. You know,
and that's all it is. keeping spiders, right, is really, really easy.
Yes.
And I don't care what anyone says. It's super simple. You get the 3 basics right, you know, height, water, substrate, and decent enclosure or whatever. There is literally nothing you can do that will go wrong. The only time things go wrong is when you start faffing around with it.
Yeah.
You know,
It's funny you saying that, though. It's funny you saying that, though, Gar, because we've still got the same old arguments kicking around for the past 30 years about what's right and wrong. You know, and it's a constant battle. And I mean, I say to everyone, you know, you go off and do exactly what you want. I do what works for me. You know, I'm not really interested in what you do. If you want to go a different route, that's fine. That's that's your prerogative. Do whatever you want.
No,
you know, I mean,
and like me and Guy Tansley laugh about it, right? We call it the Spider Monk. I call him the Spider Monk, right? Because basically we're getting to this ethos where we're getting limiting down until eventually I won't need to keep anything. I sound like an alcoholic or an ex-smoker here, but basically I'm going to be like May now. I'm going to Sri Lanka to see Onata in the wild to take some photos, and I think I probably by about 3 or 4 years I probably won't keep pokies anymore. It's weird because of my love for them. I am getting to the point where I think they should be in the wild only. But it's very difficult when you've kept them for like most of my life, so 36 years or whatever. I've always had tarantulas, and I love them so much. Then to think, well, if I love them so much, why am I keeping them? Like, why? It's a very fine line, and it's like you just get into that point of enlightenment. Really, that's what I call in the Spider Monk. So, yeah,
I can totally sympathise with where you're coming from. I had done exactly the same thing in the zoo world, and there came a point in my career where I had to sit and try and justify why something was there. And basically, in the zoo world, as most of the animal world goes, it literally survives off of public donation and what money it can make out of the public. So the problem with that means that you end up focusing on what makes you money, and you start to lose sight of what you were doing. And what's happened in the zoo world is that they went one step further and they went into qualifications, and now you've not got so much people that have got a real passion for the job, but you've got real academical people, that can sit and literally, go through degree after degree after degree, but you give them a broom and they haven't got a bloody clue what to do with it. And so you've got this big divide in the zoo now. So you've got a lot of really academical people, but they've lost the passion that the guys that 30 odd before had. And what you learnt back then, I mean, I can remember going in as a nipper, talking to like senior members of staff that looked after giant tortoises and all these things that birds of paradise, hummingbirds, all these things that I would never ever get to do myself. And it's just amazing to hear them people. When you talk to the academic people of today, they've got even less idea about what that's all about. It's the same in everything. I can see where you're coming from with the spiders, because there does come a point where you sit and think, is this right or wrong? It's
like I've had a room 400, 500 spiders in it, and don't get me wrong, I loved it, and every one of them had the care that they needed to survive, and they were breeding. And also, again, this is one thing I hate when people go, "Oh, it's laying an egg sac, so it must be being cared for." No, I've seen spiders lay egg sacs in the things that they're imported into the country for. In a tiny little pot like that, they'll do it anywhere. It doesn't matter.
They can be stressed into doing it, can't they?
Yeah, exactly. So that's a one anyway. But then I've slowly, then I lost, after having 400 or 500 or whatever, I then lost I lost my hobby completely. it got so much of a chore that I started to despise coming into the spider room. So then I got rid of practically everything about apart from a couple. And then I started again. I thought, right, well, I'm going to get a Pokey because I'm going to get this because, you know, I really loved that when I had them. And I did, and I started enjoying again. And then that's the point where I started YouTube because I was enjoying. And then all of a sudden, YouTube started to barrel, and then the spiders started to barrel. And then I kept thinking, well, I need another spider now to make a video on it. And then that's the wrong way to think. So it was spiraling out of control again. But now I'm at a place where I'm starting to get zen again. And I think it's just going to get smaller and smaller and smaller as I go on. And, you know, like you said, Dave, it's like you get to a point and you go in, do I need it? It's not for me. Do they need it? Maybe not. But yeah, it's a tough one. It's an enigma, especially for an old spider head like me. Do you know what I mean?
I think it's definitely. I think the biggest thing we all need to do maybe is just be realistic.
Yeah.
With what we're doing. That's the big thing, because, you know, it's like I say, like in the zoo world, we were always promoting conservation.
Yeah.
Conservation is one of the furthest things away in the zoo world.
Yeah.
There is more done by private individuals and more research done by private individuals than any zoo organisation in the world.
Yeah.
You know, they are lacking tremendously in that department. But their whole ethos and their whole money revenue is through conservation. You know? Yeah. So you got like a couple
of donations fly in for that, don't they? Do you know what I mean? But it's all money.
Oh yeah, I mean, you know, you go through the gate and it's like, you know, hello sir, what would you like to sponsor today? What would you like to adopt today? You know, you adopt this clouded leopard and you may save one in the wild. Well, I'm afraid to tell you, you won't. You ain't going to make a blind bit of bloody difference. You know, it's a very, very difficult thing. So I think in terms of our hobby, we just need to be really realistic and not worry about offending people. We need to just be honest with what we're doing. I think that's forward.
I'm gonna cut it. Lovely. Thanks for joining me tonight. Right, it's been a pleasure to catch up with you, Frankus, man. I needed to catch up with you anyway, so thanks, man, for joining.
Oh,
Dave, thanks for joining. Sam, I don't know if you've got any sound, but thanks for joining. Adam, the Invertebrarian. Gav, Impossible Inverts. Jeremy's Wild Word. Oh, good luck for the show, mate. And Amy,
very much.
Rock and Roll. How many fair Amy before we go?
All of them. I did them all. Literally just did the last one as you said I'm going to cut it. So thank you for joining
Perfect
me
timing,
whilst
then.
I fed my slings.
Heidi.
It was great.
Everyone that's here now, please, you're welcome to join me at any point. I'm going to do every Thursday, hopefully, if I can. So drop me a message. And if there's anyone we missed in the chat there who wants to jump on as well, just give me a chat. Give me a message. I will do it. So, guys, thank you. I got to go and get my sleep because I got work in the morning, and I'm sure you all have too.
And I got to now put all of those away.
Oh,
wicked.
Well, everyone, stay safe, guys. Take care.
Yeah.
Take care.